Hi, my name is Will Mydock. This is the Lesson 8 discussion post for MAN3301 covering two topics today. The first topic is, do you agree that performance appraisals should be discontinued for companies? Defend my answer. Also, which of the solutions to performance appraisal problems would you implement first if I was in charge? And then what would be the second solution and why? Topic number two is, what would you do as the manager in order to make sure that your employees knew the standards that they would be evaluated against? Explain my answer. So for topic one, about performance appraisals being discontinued, I don't think that performance appraisals should be discontinued. I think that it's a vital part of the role, or at least some form or fashion of these appraisals. I do think that the traditional review of performance at different companies does have its flaws, but I think completely getting rid of it is also not a good idea, and it would remove an important feature of the essentially having employees and having a way to appraise whether or not they're doing their job. Now, this may change in the future with AI and certain roles changing, and how things are measured. Since things could probably be measured quicker in the future, you might not need to wait to the end of the year to do a review. You can have constant review. But even then, I think there is a human factor that's really important that we shouldn't overlook when that conversation happens. But for now, I do think that this is something very, very important and necessary for both employers and employees to both have the success that we're looking for. I think that performance appraisals provide employees with a chance to get feedback on what they're doing well and where they can improve. It gives the managers a chance to recognize the good work of employees, talk about goals for the future, identify different training or development areas where the employee might be able to step up. And so this provides a space for those conversations to have. And I don't think that in general, the problems here are with the appraisal itself, but it's typically how it is conducted and the culture and other factors within a company. So I do think that the once-a-year feedback is really helpful. And I think if I was in charge, the first solution I would have would be to implement a ongoing feedback, kind of like what I mentioned with technologies. If we can just have constant feedback, instead of just once a year, it's twice a year, it's once a quarter, it's once a month, it's once a week. You get constant feedback based on how you're doing. And certain things might be important to you need to look at a full year because each month it changes or each week changes. The data can't overrule the overall business decisions, but I think it's important. And then, so just constant, better ways of implementing and better ways of tracking the appraisals. And then a second solution would be to implement a better way to train managers how to conduct fair and consistent and well manicured evaluations. And I think that would be very, very helpful. Now, topic two, how would I make sure employees understand the standards? I think really, really clear. Job descriptions are important. Job clarity and role clarity is really important. I think one of the biggest reasons that employees become frustrated with this situation is because they don't know exactly what's expected of them. I've seen this in different roles. I think anyone can see it in any role that they're in. So I think first and most important, pretty much the main thing is explaining performance expectations in a very common acronym is SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, repeatable, and you can measure it with time. So SMART goals are going to be the best way to have measurable goals. I would also schedule regular like one-on-one meetings with employees, and so having managers meet with each of their employees, once a week, once every 2 weeks, at least once a month, allowing for continuous open communication. And I think that's going to be a game changer. And then I think finally, I would probably encourage um, open communication in general. So more than just the once a month, the meeting, where you have a manager meeting with each team member meeting with their supervisor, managers meeting with the directors. I think it's more important for open communication so that at any point employees feel like they can go to a manager, and this open communication can make all of the communication much more effective, much more together, much more unified as a company. And I think that will allow evaluations to be more correct, more accurate, and overall the performance and success of the entire company will get better.